So the Warriors are a little bit stuck. If their main goal is putting a championship team around Steph Curry for his remaining years, to me the only real way that is a possibility is trading Kuminga, and when I say they are stuck, I mean they might have to trade Kuminga for a player that Kuminga could very well end up better than. Whether it's Mikal Bridges, Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray, I can definitely see a world where Kuminga is better than all of those guys, but Kuminga doesn't provide what I feel like the Warriors need the most, which is another on-ball creator for himself and for others. And I guess Mikal Bridges would not fit into that category, although the pull-up mid-range from Mikal is very nice. And again, I'm acknowledging that Kuminga might end up being the better player of all of these players. But I think it's fair to ask two things. One, will that happen while Steph Curry is still an All-NBA player? And two, can that happen in this Warriors system? Maybe if he was somewhere else without, say, a Draymond Green, and don't take that as Draymond Green hate, but we all know Draymond is not the easiest fit with a lot of players, and he does help Kuminga get a lot of easy buckets, right? But maybe Kuminga can grow as a creator somewhere that doesn't have a Draymond Green. But are we really going to see Kuminga creating offense consistently, playing next to Steph and Draymond in the way they like to play the game? And the one name that absolutely makes sense and the best player of all the players I've named would be Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy Butler, are you going to risk that, as far as injury, as far as him falling off potentially? But if you want to go all in on the next 2 years, Jimmy Butler would probably be the option. But then you got to decide, do you want to pay Jimmy Butler in the future? Whereas when you get one of these younger guys, at least they could kind of be somewhat of a bridge to the next era. But Jimmy Butler would be the all-in move. Not really sure that's the move you want to make though. And the other part of it is, if you're trying to win right now, right? Let's not even think about 4 or 5 years from now. If you're trying to win right now, and let's say you pick up one of these guys, you pick up a Brandon Ingram, you pick up a DeJounte Murray. So you have Steph Curry, DeJounte Murray, Draymond Green. Who's more valuable to that team, a Kuminga or Wiggins? To me, it's Wiggins. And I know it's been a very weird situation with Wiggins the last couple years, but he did play 71 games last year. He did shoot 36% from the three after starting terribly. And last year, you've seen a lot of people acting like Wiggins got back to Minnesota Wiggins. He's terrible. He doesn't try all this. When in reality, last year was the outlier. Say what you want about Wiggins, he's always been able to score the ball, and that was the biggest problem last year. So if you're telling me I'm going to get one of the best wing defenders in the NBA who also shoots 38% from three on 5 attempts per game since becoming a Warrior, I think that player is a little bit more valuable than Kuminga would be on this team with another second shot creator, right? If you're asking me who has more potential to give me 25 points per game, obviously I'm going to go with Kuminga. He can hit another level. This is not an anti-Kuminga video, just talking about how the Warriors are kind of stuck in this position. But if you're telling me I have Steph Curry and Brandon Ingram, and I'm only using Brandon Ingram because he's been rumored, but I have Steph Curry, Brandon Ingram, Draymond Green, I think I would rather have Wiggins next to those players if I'm trying to win this year. Because we all think of Kuminga as this lockdown defender, but he really hasn't been that. If Kuminga was the defender we thought he'd be, Wiggins would have been gone. And even with everything we've seen this year from the Warriors, with all the ups and downs Wiggins and Klay had, the final game of the year, those guys started over Kuminga. Now, I know Kuminga was coming back from an injury. The Warriors caught a rhythm without Kuminga. But if he's really this rising star, how amazing he was scoring the ball, all that just for him not to be able to start over Andrew Wiggins is a little bit telling, considering how bad Wiggins was all year. Now, some of that might be on Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, plays Anthony Lamb over Moses Moody. We understand that. But the last 2 years, he did not play in the Lakers series, and he's coming off the bench in a play-in game for your season. That should tell you a little bit. And even if that doesn't tell you anything, it at least tells you that Steve Kerr sees it one way. Steve Kerr probably still believes Wiggins is the better player. And if the goal is being a part of a championship level team, I would agree with him. If we're talking about who has the brighter future, who maybe can develop into an all-star, clearly it's Kuminga. But if the goal is right now, I think it's Wiggins. And you could be very dumb by doing this, right? You could be very dumb by trading Kuminga for DeJounte Murray. That could end up looking terrible, especially if Steph Curry is no longer that guy, which there were some signs of that this year. But if Steph Curry is third team All-NBA now and not first team, not second team, if Steph Curry is a top 15 player and not a top 5 player, maybe none of this matters and you're not trading Kuminga because you feel like Steph is not good enough to take you there anymore. And I'm not saying it's an easy decision. In an ideal world, you're not trading these guys straight up. You can't trade them straight up for contract situations, but in an ideal world, you would get DeJounte and Capella, you know, something like that. Maybe you could finesse a sign and trade and somehow get Claxton and Bridges. I don't know. I'm not a cap guy. I know I'm not trading, if you're asking me, right? I'm not trading Kuminga for DeJounte Murray straight up. I wouldn't do it. I'm probably not trading him straight up for Mikal Bridges. I wouldn't do it just because I don't feel like Mikal brings enough of that playmaking aspect. Brandon Ingram, it's, you know, that's a little bit dicey for me. Again, for all my salary cap people, is there a way you can finesse Jonas Valanciunas into a deal? And Chris Paul and Kuminga for BI and JV? I don't know. Just throwing these things out there. But to reiterate, I do believe in Kuminga. I do think there's a world where he's a 2-time, 3-time All-Star. But yeah, I think Kuminga's gonna be very good. Who does Kuminga remind you guys of? I've seen like Pascal Siakam. I've seen Jimmy Butler. I'm not sure he's ever gonna have the level of passing Jimmy Butler has. To me, there's a little bit of Julius Randle in his game, and I mean like the good parts of Julius Randle, so I know there's a negative connotation whenever Julius Randle's brought up for some reason, but Julius Randle, All-NBA player, I kind of see like a mix of Julius Randle and Jaylen Brown. Kuminga's a one-of-one athlete. Like, I don't know anyone else in the league that has his speed and power combination. Maybe only like Zion if Zion was in peak condition. Kuminga is a special talent. He's a special talent. I'm not saying just give up on Kuminga, trust me. And Kuminga's superpower is how fast he's able to get up. Like, he gets up high, right? But it's how fast he can get up. And imagine a Julius Randle that was also one of the best wing defenders in the NBA that could also stick 1 through 4 and really give guards problems. That is the ideal world for Kuminga, in my opinion. But I don't think I'm too off. Let me know if you guys see what I see. I feel like Warriors fans are not gonna like that Kuminga comparison, so I'm trying to over-explain myself, but I feel like if you really think about it, you can see where I'm coming from. If you just wanna hate on it, sure, go ahead and do that. But let me know in the comments down below what you think the Warriors should do. Do you think they should trade Kuminga? Do you feel like they should trade Wiggins? But the thing is, if you trade Wiggins, what are you getting for Wiggins that is gonna be more valuable than Wiggins has been for you? Let's take away all the outside noise. I know Wiggins' name is like, it's in the mud right now, but sit back and think about it. Where are you gonna get one of the best wing defenders in the NBA that's shooting 38% from 3 the last 4 years, that plays, right, besides the whole awkward family situation, which we don't really know what happened, 71 games, 73 games, 37 games, which was last year, and then 71 games again this year. And I completely understand if you're a Warriors fan and you're just completely out on Wiggins, but even this year he shot 36% from 3. It didn't feel like it, but he did. But if you're completely out on Wiggins, I get it. But then who's defending on the wing for this team? We thought Kuminga was gonna be this elite defender that would have made Wiggins expendable by now, but here we are. Wiggins had his worst season maybe in his career, and end of the season he's still starting over Kuminga. And I feel like I have to say this one more time before we end the video. It's not a trade Kuminga video. It's a the Warriors are kinda stuck video, and the simplest way I could put it is, would you rather have this Warriors team, but whatever you get for trading Wiggins, you keep Kuminga, but whatever you get for trading Wiggins, or you keep the same team and get whatever you trade Kuminga for, which is probably a lot more than what you're trading Wiggins for, and Wiggins still might be the better, more impactful player on a championship level team. I feel like it's a pretty obvious decision if you're trying to win right now, but I know it's not that black and white. Maybe you feel like Kuminga's gonna be a superstar level player and you're more worried about the next 15 years as opposed to the next 2 prime Steph Curry years. That's a completely understandable argument, but it's an argument to make, which is why I feel like the Warriors are kinda stuck. But let me know what you would do in the comments down below. Do you believe Kuminga is gonna be a really good player, like a Aaron Gordon starter level player? Or do you believe he's gonna be like a Pascal Siakam level player? Or do you believe he has like superstar potential? Let me know that in the comments down below. Let me know what you would do with this team. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.